So welcome to this afternoon's silent retreat. We're going to be spending 3.5 hours or so together, practicing various mindfulness practices, readings and contemplations, all as a beautiful and gentle offering for you to come home to yourself. And we're going to begin the practice today with a story. So this is the story of a nun who spent many, many years in a Zen monastery. And the Zen tradition can be quite tough, mentally challenging, really difficult to work with, suited to a particular type of person who enjoys that very in your head type practice. So the nun had spent many, many years working hard to achieve enlightenment. And she'd attended retreats and fasts and long challenges, many hours in meditations. She'd read, she'd sat at the feet of gurus and teachers, and still there was no peace and there was no enlightenment. So she went to her Zen master teacher and said, "Zen master, I've spent years praying and meditating and practicing and listening to you going on, and I'm still not enlightened. So I'm taking myself to the top of the mountain where there's the hermitage, and I'm staying there until I either die or I'm enlightened." And the Zen master says, "Absolutely, off you go." So the nun makes her way up the side of the mountain towards the hermitage, and somewhere on the way she met Manjushri, who is the Buddha who appears when one is ready to become enlightened. And he appeared as an old man carrying a great bundle of sticks in his arms. And she said to the old man, "You look very wise. Can you help me? I'm going to the hermitage to sit until I become enlightened or I die." And she explained how she'd been spending years practicing and praying and chanting and depriving herself. And she said, "I'm just not getting anywhere. What would you recommend?" And Manjushri, holding the sticks in his arms, moved his arms and the sticks fell on the ground. And he said, "I'd let go." And in that moment, the nun woke up and she said, "So simple. All I have to do is let go. I just have to put it down, not cling." And she got it, and her mind became sharp as a bell and clear and full of compassion. And a moment passed, and then she said, "And then what?" As her mind clouded again. So Manjushri picked up all the sticks and smiled and carried on down the mountain. And the moral to this story is that all we have to do is let go. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 1,000 million times. When we let go, there is no suffering. When we let go, there's no clinging, there's no fear, there's no anger. There's only our inherent true nature, which is compassion. So my invitation today is for you to let go over and over again. So with each meditation, not trying to achieve anything, not trying to get anywhere, not trying to lose yourself, not try to empty your mind, just to be with each moment as it arises, accepting everything that's there, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, not even bothering to give it a label, just whatever arises into your inner gaze, into your field of awareness. It arises, you notice it, and you let it go. So keep putting down your sticks today. And if you catch yourself holding them tightly, just smile and pop them down again. If you do that 100 million times today, all the good. So just take a moment in stillness to reflect on the story of the nun and the sticks. So you're going to hear the sound now of the singing bowl, and I'd like you to pay attention to its strike. I'm going to strike the bowl 3 times to begin our first practice. And I'd like you to let your awareness of sound open up. So just rest in listening. The sound won't stay the same. It'll be loud and then quiet. It might be a subtle vibration hanging in the air and then stillness. And we're not looking for the next strike or the next strike. We're just letting ourselves rest in the awareness of each strike as it happens. So please be comfortable. Find yourself sitting or laying in a way that works best for you and your body. We're going to form a natural mudra. So the mudra might be hands down on your thighs or knees, hands resting on the lap, hands gently cradling the navel, or another gesture that feels natural to you. We're going to have a long spine with your tailbone rooted down into the earth. Literally visualizing the tailbone traveling through the ground, through the foundations of the building, deep into Mother Earth herself, who's holding you stable and steady in the present moment. The crown of your head floating high into the ceiling and the sky above. Letting your face relax into a soft gesture. And a sort of expression of ease and comfort. Letting go of any tension in the jaw. Perhaps letting the teeth part, maybe the lips will part or lightly touch. Just taking a minute to allow your body to find that exquisite place of ease. As you allow your awareness now to settle into stillness. Let your attention rest on the anchor of the lower body, rooting you into the earth. Feeling the place beneath you that is connected to the floor or the bolster or your chair, your meditation stool. Noticing what is beneath your feet, your ankles, lower legs. Feeling and noticing how you are held ever so gently but firmly in place. Allow yourself to be held, to be supported. And of course, judgment may arise. thoughts, ideas of changing or shifting. Ideas of the pleasantness of the seated position. Just noticing whatever arises within your inner gaze. Trying to push it away or pull it towards you. Just being with the experience of sitting. And then noticing how the rest of your body is sitting, what you feel beneath your hands. Under your arms. Maybe there's space beneath the arms. Maybe they're held close to the body. Having a sense of the length of your spine. From the tailbone all the way up to the very top of your neck. And then feeling your head floating on top of the neck. Now having a sense of your whole body in space. And if you wish to, at any time during the practice today, you can return to this grounding practice of feeling what's under your hips, what's under your hands, the clothing against your skin. A sense of being connected and rooted deep into the earth. Now allowing your attention to move from your body to your breath. And just feeling the subtle sensation of breath entering the nose and then breath leaving the nose. Allowing that inner gaze to just rest on those very subtle differences that arise in the sensation through the nostrils and the sensation out of the nostrils. And of course, very naturally, the mind will move many, many times to a thought, a sensation, a memory, an emotion, a judgment. Acknowledge that that has happened, and then without any sense of irritation or pushing away, just come back to feeling the breath through the nostrils. Letting your awareness expand to feel the breath in the body. Traveling through the nose, down into the lungs, chest, ribs, abdomen, back, all gently expanding. And then retracting. And of course, there is the subtle pauses that arise between each breath. Inhaling, being held gently at the top. Exhaling, being held outside of the body at the end of the exhale. So staying with the breath as it happens, not pushing on to the next part or trying to draw and forcefully pull the breath in, just letting it arise and letting it fall away. And of course, many, many times your mind will move. And it doesn't matter. It's the nature of the mind. For a little bit longer, just practice returning your attention to the full experience of breath in the nostrils, in the body, subtle releases, subtle inhalations. And as the mind does its natural dance of picking up sticks, just let them go. And come back to your anchor, the root of your focus, the following of the breath. So we're going to gently end this practice with the sound of the singing bowl. Taking a few moments to be in stillness. So if you wish to now beginning to inquire into what that practice was like for you. Is your mind still or busy? Is there some resistance, some irritation? Was it pleasant? Did you find yourself easily lost in thoughts and judgments? Did you make the habit of comparing your practice to previous practices, or indeed how you think your practice should look? Maybe there was none of those thoughts. Did you learn anything about yourself? Are you attached to a particular way of sitting, being, a particular way of being led or not being led? Attached to a particular practice, which perhaps is this one or is another one? Do you have very strong preferences? I'm just going to be silent for about a minute or so while you have some time to take reflection, and if you wish to make any notes that might be useful. So taking a moment just to gently move your body. So move your body in an organic way that feels comfortable to you. If you're laying down, it might be you decide to have a stretch. You might rock your knees side to side. You could wrap your arms around yourself and have a hug. If you're sitting cross-legged, you might transfer gently to kneeling. Take the hands around your shoulders, giving yourself a warm embrace. Maybe circling those elbows. However you move organically, whatever your body is screaming out for, do it very slowly. Notice the touch of your hand against your clothing, the mat or the floor. Notice what it feels like to move your body. Where is it tight? Where is it loose? Where do you hold the tension? Is there an urge to rush? Or is there a pleasant feeling about moving slowly? Or perhaps it's neutral. How does your breath feel as you move? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Whatever way you move, making sure you move in the opposite direction, just as easily and comfortably and mindfully. Taking care not to try to push the body into doing anything. Maybe even playing around with making your movement much smaller and slower than your normal practice. Asking yourself the question, how can I best take care of myself in this moment? Before you transition to a new sequence of movement, just pausing for a moment, finding stillness, feeling and observing your breath and your body in that moment of stillness. And it can be nice to just tuck the chin towards the chest, stretch the back of the neck, and notice how that feels all the way down your spine. And then maybe letting the head gently come back up again. What do you notice? What sensations appear, become present for you as you move the head? Maybe looking over one shoulder and then the other. Feeling where the skin stretches on the front of the chest and across clavicles. Noticing if one side is tighter than the other or it feels equal. Letting your head rest in what feels like the center and just taking your right ear to your right shoulder. Noticing the feeling down through the left side of the neck. Pausing here if it's easy for you to do so, if there's no pain, and taking a beautiful deep breath. Noticing how it feels as you exhale and that sense of release that happens as you soften the breath, the intention, and the body. Gently, gently, with care, letting your head rest in the center. Pause in stillness. And then left ear to left shoulder. Just pausing here, feeling if this is the same as the other side or different. Taking a deep breath. Observing what happens as you exhale, not just in your neck, but in the rest of your body. And then carefully allowing the head to find its way back to center. Just resting in this still space. Being aware of your whole body. Not judging it, not trying to change anything, just being aware that you have a body. And that your inner gaze can become aware of how that body feels right now. Is it tired, heavy, achy? Is it light, flexible, full of energy? Somewhere in between. Noticing how you feel about your body. Do you use harsh inner language? Do you love your body? Is there care, kindness given and shown when you think and feel into your body? And not judging what you notice, just starting to become aware of that inner dialogue that happens when we start feeling and becoming aware of our physical being. So maybe just one more movement, finding a twist of some description, maybe a kneeling seated twist, maybe laying down, dropping the knees side to side. But moving really slowly, noticing your hands moving through space, your legs moving through space if your knees are moving. Feeling your gaze turn, noticing what you can see as you move your head and then your eyes follow. And just moving gently side to side, don't stop, just keep turning from one place to the other. Of course, sounds will arise in your home and in this recording. All of life continuing to happen while we rest in stillness. And just putting those sticks down as they enter the awareness. And for now, staying in the experience of this very gentle twist, playing with perhaps the smallest of movements, and then edging into something a little deeper, seeing what your body prefers. No rushing, take your time. Paying attention to your breath and your body as you move. What happens to the breath? Does it get shallower, shorter? Is it deeper? There's no right or wrong, just an interested awareness of your experience. Slowly bringing yourself to a sense of stillness, pausing and resting there. So find yourself in a comfortable position. And we're going to practice our contemplation. So the contemplation comes from a book called Anam Cara, Spiritual Wisdom from the Celtic World by John Donahue. So I'd like you just to rest in stillness while we listen to the practice of contemplation. And as your mind moves, which of course it very naturally will, please return time and again to simply paying attention to the here and now, to the present moment. Noticing as we prepare the sound of your breath as it comes and goes through your nostrils. Letting the weight of silence hang in the space between us. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the grey window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colours, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays and the curach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. Please allow the practice of mindfulness to be the cloak around you that minds your life moment to moment. Allow your awareness to be the clay beneath your feet, which will ground and hold you gently moment to moment. Going to begin our next practice, the expansion of awareness. Find yourself in a position feeling comfortable and suitable for meditation. Don't rush, take your time. Be aware of the sound of the ball to begin. So finding the physical posture that feels safe and grounding and supported for you. Take some time to ease your body, letting go of any tension you're holding. Perhaps take the gaze downwards or even close your eyes. Your anchor could be the rootedness of your body on the earth, and or the feeling of the breath as it comes through your nostrils. So at any time you begin to feel lost in your practice or unsettled, coming back to this as your anchor point. Remembering that the mind is unruly and mischievous, full of wonder. But for now, we're inviting a sense of stillness and present moment reflection. So in this present moment, noticing what you can hear. Sounds and noises, creaking of buildings, traffic going past. Maybe in another room, someone's playing a TV or a radio. Maybe there's complete peace where you are. It's the sound of birds outside. And just noticing what's there as it arises, and noticing how the sound seems to find a pitch and then fade away, maybe only to return very quickly. There may be whole layers of sound on top of each other. You're not trying to get past them or push them away or wonder where they've come from or wish they'd go away. Just noticing that that's present in your hearing awareness. Welcoming the awareness of sound. It may be already your mind has wandered into thoughts, memory, planning, thinking about your dinner, making a list. It's all normal. It's all what mind does. It finds sticks to pick up and holds on to them. Just put it down without any frustration. Your mind's doing what minds do. And return your inner gaze to whatever sound is arising around you. Extending that visual awareness, that inner gaze, to noticing what you can feel in your body. What you feel beneath your hands, under your feet, your legs, your hips. What you feel behind your back. Your clothing against your skin. Your hair, if you have hair, against your face, your neck, your scalp. If you're wearing jewelry or glasses, let's see what that feels like against your body. Your lips, if they're touching or parted. And your mind drawn to one sensation in particular. Maybe taking a little walk around your body, noticing from the feet upwards the sensations that you're aware of, letting go of each one as you move on to the next one. Sensations beneath feet, beneath legs, beneath hips, and so on. Being aware if you have a sense of a desire for the sensations to be different. Or perhaps a noticing of a pleasant experience with the sensation. If there is a desire for it to be different, is there a feeling of pushing away, resisting that experience in that moment? What would it be like for you to soften into that experience? Just to let it be. Just to open your awareness up to the fullness of it. And then letting go of the physical experience of sensation and paying attention to the emotional landscape in the body. How do you feel emotionally? Is there peace, expansiveness, happiness? Is there a sadness, fear, boredom, judgment, anger? Just noticing what's there. Not judging it as good or bad, it's just arising within your experience as a being in a human body. It's all welcome, all part of your rich tapestry. Noticing if you have a tendency to push away the uncomfortable and cling tightly to the comfortable, creating your own unique suffering in that moment. So for now, just letting your awareness rest on the inner experience, the emotional rise and fall, wift and waft of the present moment. It is normal to be caught up in thought about this feeling. Maybe trying to reason why you feel that way or justify it or fix it. That's normal to do this, perfectly healthy. Just note that that's what's happening and come back to just curiously watching the feeling. If it feels overwhelming, just coming back to your breath, back to feeling your body in this moment, really embodying the present moment, your hips, legs supported by the floor, hands held against your body. And then when you're ready, returning to just your moment-to-moment emotional landscape. Noticing how perhaps when a particular emotional feeling arises, your mind may go off on a particular tangent. And just as soon as you notice that, letting that go, putting down those sticks, coming back to the next feeling that arises, even if it's the same one over and over again, just noticing, accepting it with wide open arms into your field of awareness, and then putting it down. Noticing the next thing and putting it down. And now letting this go also, letting it slide away, resting your attention now on your thoughts. Just noticing the rising and falling of thought, picking up of sticks. Each time a thought enters your awareness, just gently smiling and then letting it go. It's all welcome, and then putting it down over and over again. If something is particularly challenging, returning to the anchor of your breath and the embodied practice of feeling your body against the floor, against the mat, on a chair, in a bolster. And then when you're ready, returning to noticing with curiosity whatever it is that jumps into your mind. Just not staying with it. Now finally letting your awareness just be in the part of you that is watching it all. So turning your gaze to the observer, to the part that notices arising thoughts, to the part that is watching sensation, emotion, the part that is listening to sound. Having a sense of your deeper I, the witness of all arising phenomena. And if this feels too challenging at the moment or not comfortable for you, then just returning simply to the beautiful coming and going of your breath. Your mind is pulled out. Return to noticing and having a sense of the viewer, the part of you that notices everything, the part of you that is the witness of arising thought, arising sensation, arising emotion, arising sound. Or if you prefer, resting with your breath for a few more moments. I'm letting your concentration relax now. Taking a few moments to be in stillness. Perhaps noticing if you can sense into the edges of that stillness, where thoughts and sensation, emotion, judgment, all creeps in. Resting in the place between, being the witness and having the experience. Now taking a moment or two to inquire, what was that practice like for me? Was I distracted? Was I present? Was I both at different times? Did I hate it? Did I love it? A variety of all of that. Did the mind settle more easily with thought, with breath, with sensation, with emotion? Was my inner dialogue? Did I speak harshly to myself? What do I notice about how I'm feeling right now? Am I tired? Is my body tired? Is my mind tired? And if so, why? Did I feel spacious? No judgment, just taking some time to notice. Maybe if you wish to, making a few notes, or just having some inner inquiry for yourself. So before we have a little move, just listening to this very short paragraph from Encounters with Enlightenment, Stories from the Life of the Buddha. The mind is frivolous and difficult to control, alighting on whatever it pleases. It is good to tame the mind. A tamed mind brings happiness. The mind is extremely subtle and difficult to grasp, alighting on whatever it pleases. Let the man of understanding keep watch over the mind. A guarded mind brings happiness. That's from the Dhammapada, verses 35 to 36. As we know, the mind is tricky and busy and active and curious and engaging and creative and compassionate and judgmental and angry and sad and joyful and open. And it is natural for the human being to experience all of those things. The suffering happens when we pick up each single thought and hold on to it. So that eventually the sticks that we carry are as high as a mountain. So the practice of putting down and letting go, guarding the nature of where we rest our attention, is the path to freedom and peace. So bearing this in mind, the guarded mind finds peace. So we're going to take a little move, and before we move, I would ask you to move mindfully. So we're going to get off our seat and go to the floor on all fours. So I want you to feel every movement. So feel the shift in weight from one hip to the other. Feel the weight move into your hands, and I will meet you on the mat. I'm going to make my way over to the mat myself. So please don't rush, take a little bit of time to get there. So we're going to place our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. And I want you just to start by just very lightly shifting your weight from right to left, tiny, tiny movement. And just feel and notice the weight move from one side to the other. And when you feel ready to, bring a kind of circling action into this. So we're circling from one hand to in front of it, to the other, and then sitting back. If it feels uncomfortable on the wrists, of course you can go down to your elbows. Place a bolster underneath your hands, or you can even make kind of a fist with your thumbs on the outside of the gorilla. That can be a nice supportive way to work if you're used to a bit. So feeling into this little circle, maybe if you have the urge to, you can make it a little bigger. Bring the hips back towards your feet. But feeling what happens in your body as you move. Where does your body show up for you? What do you notice? Is there a pulling in the lower back? Is it pleasant or unpleasant? Maybe changing direction, which way do you prefer? Which way is more dominant? What's happened to your breath as you move? Shallower, deeper? What else do you notice? You feel the air moving against your skin, just very gently. And then coming to a still point and changing that circle to a kind of figure of 8 with your hips. So drawing a figure of 8 in the air, which is really, really great for your back when you've been sitting for a little while. And observing how that feels. How does your body respond to this? Being aware of your clothing against your skin. Being aware if any of it feels clunky or if it's smooth and flowing. And again, we're noticing if we start judging ourselves, are we judging how we're moving? Do we feel like we should be doing it a different way? It should be freer, it should be bigger, smaller, whatever. Changing that figure of 8 to the opposite direction. Usually it's harder when you change directions because we've chosen our easy side most likely. How do you feel about that? It's harder on this side. Noticing your inner story, your inner conversation about your physical experience of movement. then finishing your figure of 8, and we're just going to do one cat and cow. So taking a breath in and feeling your breath in your body. Ribs expanding, and then breathing out, rounding the back into cat stretch. And let the head drop, let it dangle. And then inhale, relax the spine into a natural position and look forward. Don't look up, just look forward. And then we're going to kneel back. So we're kneeling back onto our heels. Now, not everybody likes to kneel, so a bolster on the feet or the backs of the heels even. Sit cross-legged, sit up onto a chair. Your preference. Bringing your hands out to shoulder height, just having a sense of them floating, and then floating them back down. So like wings. Feel your fingertips moving through space. Notice that feeling in your forearm and your elbow, upper arm and your shoulder. Notice the sensation in the back as you create those wings. Maybe you have some kind of story that starts to happen. Maybe you start seeing yourself in a bird or something else. Just noticing everything that occurs as you begin to move. Next time the hands are up, we're going to leave them there. And we're going to bring the right arm across the body onto the left shoulder and the left hand onto the right shoulder. Feel the weight of your hands on the shoulders. Circle your elbows. Circle the elbows. And it might be your body moves as you circle the elbows. It might be the body is still. Doesn't matter. And changing direction. Feeling your clothing against your skin, get the stretching as you move. Each time your mind moves, come back to the embodied experience right now. Of being in your body. Releasing the hands. Placing the hands palms down on the thighs, bring your shoulders to your ears, and then roll your shoulders gently down the back. And then left hand on right shoulder and right hand on top, so it's the opposite way around this time. And again, circling. Do you prefer a small circle or a big circle? And the other way. And then resting the arms gently down. Going to shift the weight forward, so we can rock forwards off the backs of the feet onto the fronts of the feet, chest coming towards thighs, and then gently rock back. Push against the hands and the thighs and into the chest, so gently arching the back. And then softening the chest, gently rocking forwards, feeling that little stretch in the back of the waist, and then rocking back, pushing into the hands and lifting the chest. So we do this with our breath, so feeling the breath as you move. Exhale, what do you notice? What you feel in your body, your feet, your hands. Inhale. Does your body prefer the backwards or the forwards? Twice more. Exhale. And inhale. And final one. Exhale. And inhale. And then we're going to drop our hips to one side, and it really doesn't matter whichever one you prefer. So put your hands on the side you're going to and drop your hips over there. And then unravel the legs and stretch them out in front of you. You're going to have quite strongly flexed feet and really see and spread your toes apart. Hands are behind you. You're going to lean back into your arms and lift your chest. So I'm pulling gently the shoulder blades together. What does that feel like? That pinch of skin between the shoulder blades, push into the hands. What do you notice under your hands? The wood of your floor, carpet, rug, mat. Reach into those feet, spread the balls, try and create a little gap between each toe. How does that feel on your feet? Is it pleasant or unpleasant, really difficult? And then relax the feet, relax the arms, and just let yourself slump. Take a long breath into your belly. Feel your belly swell, and then exhale, push into the feet, lift the chest and gently draw the shoulder blades together. I'm going to hold here now. So just as far as you're comfortable, holding and breathing into the front of the body. Maybe you have some sense of work happening in the arms, just very subtle. Legs are awake, you're spreading those toes, getting activity happening. And then slowly release it. Just bring yourself up to sitting a little bit more upright. We're going to take the left leg out to the side. And then you're going to draw the right foot in towards the inner thigh. Don't yank it too high. Just see where it kind of wants to sit really comfortably. Place your left hand on your shin, ankle, or big toe. And feel what it's like when the skin touches what's beneath it. So it might be your trousers, your leggings. Maybe it's the skin on your leg or foot. Push the foot away from you and straighten the left arm as best you can. Notice how that feels in your body, in the back of that left leg. What sensations are there? What about in the left side of the waist? And now we're going to take the right arm through space, slowly to reach onto your left forearm, wrist, or hand. Inhale, float the arm open as slow, as if you're pushing through water. Open as far as your body's happy to go. And then breathe out and bring the hand back, this time pulling through water. What do you notice? Your shoulder, your torso, maybe your hip. Inhale and open. Perhaps this time taking the gaze, feel what happens in the neck. What do you notice with your gaze as your eyes move across the room? And exhale, pulling through water. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, open. And this time we stay up. So find your best, most comfortable version. Turn the right palm away and take it behind your waist. Don't strain. So we're looking for a soft place, right shoulder down. Maybe the left elbow will rest on the shin. It's really not important. So tell me, as you sink into your body, have some inner dialogue. How do I feel? How's my body feeling? What do I notice? What sensations am I aware of? Where's my mind? Is it racing ahead? Is it judging me? Am I being kind? Feel the breath in the body. Maybe let your eyes close and have an awareness of the feeling of the eyelids resting together. Does that change the experience in any way when we close the eyes? We're going to bring the right hand with care to rest on the right thigh or knee, push against it and come up. And feel your weight transfer into both hips. Soften and relax your shoulders. Take a breath. So to transfer, we're going to take the left hand behind. You're going to lean to the left, take your right hand behind, and then just wiggle your legs to the other side. So right leg goes out to the side. Place the left foot to the inner thigh or knee, whatever feels good for us. Taking our right hand to rest on our shin, ankle, or big toe. Pushing that foot away from us, straightening the right arm. So left hand rests on right forearm, wrist, or hand. And we inhale and we float that arm open, being aware of the sensations in the body as you move. And then we exhale and we bring the hands together, just feeling the fingertips pulling through the air. Noticing the sensations in the back, the waist, the hips. Inhale and open, the gaze follows the hand. And exhale and close. And one more time, inhale and open. And we stay there. Take that left palm behind us, wrap it behind the waist, again, with ease, no strain in. Maybe the right elbow rests on the shin, doesn't have to. No collapsing, sense of being contained and strong. Noticing what you feel under your legs, under your right heel. Noticing how your back feels. If you need to back off, can you do that? If you want to go deeper, can you do that? Closing the eyes, feeling the eyelids gently rest together. Tuning into your breath. What does the breath feel like in your body as you hold close? What do you notice? Pleasant, unpleasant, pain, ease, release, contraction. It's your truth. Slowly, left hand comes onto near thigh, push against it to bring yourself back up. Have a little pause. We're going to take the hands behind us. So feeling that kind of stretch across your chest and the tops of your arms, lean back into your hands. Place your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Maybe move your hips a little closer to your feet. Do what feels comfortable. And just gradually rocking your knees side to side. So I want to feel the transition of movement. So I'm moving from the outside to the top or the base of the foot to the other edge of the foot. I'm feeling the stretch down one side and then the other. Maybe starting to turn your gaze across opposite shoulders. What does that feel like in your neck? What's it like having a different point of view? Do you have a preference over which way you look? Feeling the breath gently accompanying you as you move. It might be as you take the knee side to side, there's a sense of movement on the mat, and your hips start to move, mine usually do. Maybe you're very still. And then one more. Going back to center, sliding those legs along the floor, sitting up tall. Giving your hands a little shake. Elbows, shoulders, a bit of chicken wings going on. Deep breath in. Fully exhale. Have a sense of release through the body. So a strong sigh. Deep breath in. Strong sigh. Really letting go of anything that's held in the body. One more time. Deep breath in. Good. And then make your way slowly, cautiously, thinking about how you move back to sitting for our next practice. So using whatever and all equipment that you require to get comfortable. I want to try a different sitting arrangement this time, maybe kneeling instead of cross-legged. Maybe you feel like you need to lie down, that's also fine. Just taking a minute to settle in. If you feel like you need a little drink or anything at all, then doing what's necessary for you. So we're going to be doing a short nurturing practice. Learning a skill so that we can lean into challenging feelings. It is our human nature to avoid them. Nobody wants to feel uncomfortable. No one wants to feel sad or in pain or overwhelmed. So our usual strategy is distraction. And this practice is the first step towards learning how to be with whatever is arising. To be with it so that we can put it down properly. Not just pop it in our backpack and carry it around with us. So finding yourself settled into a comfortable position, we'll begin. So I'd like you to rest your hands on your heart. Now there's different ways to do this. You can have one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, both hands on the heart, one on top of the other, or you could hook the thumbs together like wings with the hands, butterfly wings, and kind of use the hands to cradle the heart. So just feel into whichever of those gestures makes more sense to you and your body. So the gaze has dropped downwards or the eyes are closed. Making any final little adjustments so that you are at ease in your practice pose. And you're being kind to yourself in the way you set up this pose. You're already displaying a nurturing attitude by making sure you're comfortable. Giving yourself any support that you need or any extra props. Letting go of the idea that the practice pose is meant to look a particular way. And then letting your breath settle into a comfortable coming and going. Pauses between the inhale and exhale, pauses between the exhale and inhale. No grasping the breath, no forcing it out, just letting it find its own natural, exquisite cycle. So we're paying attention firstly to the sensation of breath in and around the chest, rising into the hands, and then the drawing away of breath as the chest sinks and the breath is released from the body. I want you to, in this moment, just consider yourself as you are now, being that you are. Might be in a family or not in a family. You may be alone or with other people. You may be working or not working. You may be busy, you may be quiet. You may have many responsibilities or few. You may be healthy or you may be sick. You may have an abundance of friendships or be very alone. You need to consider who you are. I want you to take that being into your heart tenderly, letting your hands be a caring and warm gesture of love and complete acceptance for the being that is showing up today. We're going to add a subtle mantra, gentle, loving and kind mantra to this practice. And you can choose words that feel appropriate for you. So I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions and then you can either make up your own or make a version of these. So to my inner being, my true self, the being I recognize in this moment, I say, darling, I love and accept you just as you are. Or sweetheart, you are doing your very best. I know we are having a difficult time. I understand that this is a hard time for you. I love you very much. Or some other version of this mantra. But stay with the version of yourself as you are right now. Of course, as we do this, there may well be judgments and feelings of not liking something or not wanting it to be that way, or judging yourself for certain behaviors. There may be also feelings of hard done by or poor me or why me. Maybe feelings of pride, resilience and strength. Whatever is there, it's all welcome. Don't try to push it away. Try to change it. Just let it be. Darling, I love and respect you. Sweetheart, you're doing your very best. I know it's hard. I'm proud of you right now. Please be kind to yourself. So I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes while you just breathe. Take care of your heart. Nurture yourself. Now perhaps bringing forth a particular part of you feel needs some love and care. And this might be a part of you that is encountering difficulty in some way at the moment. Maybe in your personal life, in your work life, be apart from the past that is coming forward regularly. Maybe it's your story from childhood. Maybe it's something you're afraid of for the future. Bring that part into your heart and nurture that heart. Darling, I love you and care for you. Sweetheart, you're doing your very best. I can see that you are suffering, and I hold you tenderly. Whatever words are needed for these parts of you that deserve and need your kind attention. And of course, there may be resistance. There may be some inner dialogue which is not receptive to receiving this love. And accept that part of you. Don't push it away. That part is also in suffering. Send that part of you also love and care and affection. And whatever you feel, allow yourself to feel it. And maybe taking one hand down onto your belly or onto your thigh and have a sense of grounding yourself in the moment. And taking your other hand to the side of your face and just very gently cradling your face as you would someone you love dearly. If you wish to, you could do that with both hands, one on each side. Darling, I love and respect you. You are doing your very best. Darling, I love and respect you. You are doing your very best. Please be kind to yourself. Perhaps taking one hand to your leg or belly, other hand to your heart, and gently circling or patting your chest in a soothing, calming gesture. Darling, I love you. I know you are suffering. You're doing your best. It's not easy right now. Thank you for being everything that you are. If you prefer, you could take a hand onto your forearm and just gently stroke your forearm. The way you do with a very small child to soothe, just stroking the forearm. Just very light touch. Darling, I love you. Please be kind to yourself. You're doing your very best. I know you're tired and overwhelmed. I can see that. You deserve to rest. You deserve some lightness. You deserve to feel all of your feelings and make space for them. So just for the last minute, taking a time to choose any of those gestures that feel good for you. Cradling your face, resting the hands on the heart, stroking your arm. And just speak softly to the parts of you that need nurturing and love and kindness. In this moment of befriending yourself, perhaps give yourself a little hug. Just really make space for giving yourself the kind of love and attention you very easily give to others. Befriending yourself and all of the parts of you by welcoming everything into your awareness, whether it's sad or heavy, lonely or afraid, angry, confused, whatever it is, it's all welcome. And you know how to take care of it. And just now, for the next minute or so, resting in stillness, letting the practice slide away as you just rest in observation of breath and the arising moment. Now gently taking a minute or two to inquire. What was it like for me to nurture myself? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Did it make me uncomfortable? Could I easily identify with the parts of me that need care and love and affection? Is this something I naturally do in my day-to-day life? Or do I tend to put my own needs on the back burner and I'm kinder to others than I am to myself? Just take a few moments to reflect. And again, if you wish to, making a few notes. So I'm going to suggest you take 5 minutes, perhaps go stretch your legs, have a cup of tea, bring it back with you if you want, with the bathroom. So 10 past, we'll meet back here on the mat. I'm going to roll around on my mat a little bit, and then we'll be beginning our next practice. So we have 2 more practices to go. And just enjoy your stretch. Try to avoid speaking to anybody. Please don't go onto any devices. Just keep yourself in your little reflective bubble for now. Okay. So welcome back. I invite you to settle into a comfortable seated position once again. We're just going to rest together in a few moments of stillness, if needed, using the breath and or the body as your anchor to the present moment. So I'm going to begin this section with a very short reading. This is from the book Benedictus, again by John O'Donoghue. And this is called For Friendship. May you be blessed with good friends and learn to be a good friend to yourself. Journey to that place in your soul where there is love, warmth, and feeling. May this change you. May it transfigure what is negative, distant, or cold within your heart. May you be brought into real passion, kindness, and belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, be there for them, and receiving all the challenges, truth, and light you need. May you never be isolated, but know the embrace of your Anamkara. I invite you to firstly be a friend to yourself. Nurture yourself. Make space and time for you to explore all of your experiences and process your feelings. For you to mindfully walk through your life with the tenderness, kindness, and care that you show those you love dearly. So just pause for a second and consider, do I walk tenderly through my life? Do I tenderly care for myself? Do I show myself consideration and kindness? Do I speak to myself with love and sweetness? Do my actions look like the actions that you would give to a lover, to somebody you hold very, very dear in your heart? So we're going to enter into the practice now of rain. This mindfulness practice teaches us how to become our very best friend. R is for recognize. To recognize what's going on for you right now, what's truly happening beneath that arising feeling, thought, sensation. Allowing it to be just as it is, not pushing it away or clinging to it tightly. Investigate. Investigate why. What's beneath the feeling? What's beneath that fear, that anger, frustration, that loneliness? What do I really believe? And then nurture, just as we did in our previous meditation. So we're going to practice rain together. And it's a beautiful practice to take away with you moment to moment, to use in your own life at times when things are challenging. Recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. So I'll begin the practice with the strike of the singing bowl. So please get yourself into a comfortable position. Settle in. And make sure you're nurturing and being kind to yourself in the way that you are sitting. So if you're not entirely comfortable, making sure that you fix that right now. And we're going to rest the hands, perhaps one on the heart and one on the belly. Or if you feel like you need a little more grounding, both hands, palms down on the thighs. So just finding the gesture that is suitable for you in this moment. Let your gaze be cast downwards or close the eyes. And I'd like you to bring to mind a time or sensation that is challenging for you. Nothing too big, too vast, or life-changing. Could be a difficult experience, falling out, a challenging emotion, just a sense of not wanting something to be the way it is. And take the time to recognize that in your body. How does that show up for you? Do you feel tight, heavy, constricted? Do you have some pain somewhere? Where do you feel that in your body? How does that impact on you in this moment? Does your body get tight and stiff? Does your breath change in some way? What about your mind? Does that get tight and fixed on this point? Do your thoughts become jumbled and confused or angry and resentful? Do you feel sad and heavy or something else? Recognize how this is showing up for you physically and emotionally in your body. If it helps, you could rest a hand in that place. Just letting the weight of the hand sit there. And now allow it. Don't try to explain it away or breathe it out. Don't try to change it. It's part of your rainbow of colorful experience in life. is part of who you are, and what you've experienced and what you are experiencing. So allow it, allow all of those feelings, the discomfort, the tightness, the restricted breath, the tight mind, the judgments arising, the sadness, the fear, just allow it all. Roll out the red carpet for all of those experiences. Open your compassionate arms and let them rest there. Don't fight it. And it may be as we do this, the feeling intensifies. There may be some arising emotion. Maybe you have a sense of your throat closing up or a tear. Maybe you get a sense of being angry and wanting to shout, kick something. Just let it all be there. Maybe you feel yourself withdraw and curl up into a tiny little husk somewhere inside. Maybe it feels like your skin's on fire and you want to scratch out of your body. Or something small. Just a sense of being slightly uncomfortable. Allow it. Don't fight it. Nothing in your human experience is not welcome in your inner gaze. And now investigate what's really going on. What am I afraid of? Do I feel misunderstood, taken advantage of, disrespected? Do I feel like I'm wasting my time? Do I feel lonely? And if I'm lonely, do I feel like I'm not worthy of friendship? Do I feel afraid? My circumstances will never change and it will always be this way. Am I worried about the future and what life might hold? Am I sad about my past, how I was treated and experiences I had? Am I afraid I'm going to keep repeating the same old patterns? Investigate. What's beneath this feeling? And if you're not sure, just rest in that I'm not sure. And that's difficult. Just note and investigate and surrender. Don't fight it. Just be curious and open. Your body, your mind, your spirit all reveals itself under your tender, loving gaze. And now nurture. Nurture those feelings within you, using the gestures and the words we learned in the previous practice. Darling, I love you. You are doing your best. I know it was a hard time, and that was really difficult for you. Thank you. Thank you for bearing that challenge and discomfort. I love and respect you. Do whatever it is you need to do. Hugging yourself, resting your hands in your face, stroking your cheek or your forearm or something else that works for you. Nurture the part of you that is in suffering. Don't fight it. Don't challenge it. Don't push it down. Rather, bring it into the light of your loving awareness. And of course, it might be that your mind goes down old tracks of judgment or suppression, of pull yourself together, or it wasn't that bad, or you deserved it, or poor me. This is normal. Just come back to recognizing what's true in this moment, how you're feeling, how that's showing up for you. Allowing it to be there, don't fight it. Investigate. What's it really about? What am I really saying? What's really missing for me? And then most importantly, coming back to nurturing. Giving yourself the love and attention you so deserve. Nurturing your soul. Bringing it home to you. Gathering up your pain and suffering in your arms like a tender, loving parent. Rocking it away. Soothing and kind. Nourishing and peaceful. Just return to this if you catch yourself being caught up in old patterns of being. Bringing your chin to your chest, taking a breath to end the practice. Having a moment in stillness. And now taking a few moments for inquiry. Was that challenging for me? Was it easy? Were bits of it harder than others? Was it easy to recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture? Did I find it hard to investigate what was underneath my feeling? Was it hard to allow myself to feel? Have I got into the habit of not feeling and pushing feelings down? Do I create space in my day to process my feelings? Was it easy and natural to nurture myself, or did it feel indulgent, unnatural, silly even? Just take a minute to inquire, and any other questions or thoughts that come to mind. Perhaps making notes if you wish to. So slowly ending your inquiry, and we're going to take some movement. So I'm just going to suggest that you take the hands just behind your head and bring the elbows to the sides of the face, just feeling the forearms against the sides of the face. Take a deep breath, and as you inhale, open the elbows, stretching across the front of the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, bring those elbows into your face, and inhale, open. Very gently arching the back, find a natural arch as you do that. Exhale, ribs soft and elbows coming in, just feeling your body moving from one place to the other. And inhaling to open. So you're having a sense of the whole spine moving, rocking forwards off the sit bones, and then as you exhale, rocking back onto the sit bones. And then just keep going like this, but start playing around with making the movement bigger and smaller, noticing how it feels. How does your body respond to this? What about your breath? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Is this pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Let's maybe just do one more. And then we're going to pop the hands down onto the thighs and lift the shoulders to the ears. I feel that little bit of contraction in the shoulders, in the neck, and then deep breath, and then breathe out and drop. So noticing the difference between the lift and the drop. Breathe in and drop. One more time, breathe in and drop. And once again, shaking out the hands, fast, slow. Rotate the wrists and the other way. Curl up the fingers, spread them out twice more. What does that feel like? How do your hands feel as you stretch them? And then a little chicken wings. Really lovely for the shoulders. Little shoulder roll. How does your body respond to this? And then we're going to set up to prepare for body scan. Now, what quite often happens in body scan is we fall asleep. And there's a couple of things to say about that. Is if you do, you're probably tired. So there's your signal. What the body scan is telling you is that on some level, you are in need of some kind of rest. Now, the rest that you need might not be a physical one. It might be mentally, you're absolutely at your brim. So your body just wants to shut down at the first opportunity to switch that off and to work in an unconscious way to sort things out for you. It could be that you are physically exhausted and you need to rest. It could be that you're emotionally at your top and you just haven't got any more capacity. So as soon as you lie down and you start to tune into your body just goes, oh, thank God, I need to lie down and have a nap. If that is what happens to you, use that as a signal of awareness. That's what all of these practices are about, to know ourselves better so that we can live mindfully and well and graciously and joyfully in our life because we know how to look after ourselves better. So it's not so that we walk around all of our days looking serene and like Buddha. Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? It's about being able to engage in our life in a thoughtful way. And if we aren't understanding what's going on for us, we can't do that. So all of the practices are just helping us to develop this inner communication. I'm going to ask you to try not to fall asleep. So if you are drifting, there's two things you could do. You can open your eyes, and the other thing is you could sit up in a chair. And if you're sitting in a chair, sit forwards. So you're on the edge of the chair, so you're not leaning back in a nice comfy armchair. Feet planted on the floor, hands on your legs, eyes open but cast downwards. And both of those things are going to help you to stay awake. However, if you lay down and you do drop off, it is not the end of the world. Just bear in mind for future practices that this is my suggestion. The reason we practice body scan is to embody mindfulness, so to bring that awareness of our body, bringing our mind into the body. As we move from place to place, so for instance, I go from thumb to finger to middle finger. As we transition from being aware of the thumb to being aware of the finger, we let the thumb go. So we're not bringing the thumb with us. Each time we move to the new place and put down the sticks of what we've been looking at before. Your mind's going to wander. It's just like everything else, and that's perfectly fine. The practice is to keep coming back to my voice, to your own body, to the sensations you're feeling in your body. So I'm going to invite you, I'm going to give you a minute or two to set yourself up. I'm going to lay down and do the practice with you. So you could use, I'm going to have bolsters under my knees, a blanket under my head. You could have a blanket over you, you could have an eye bag on your eyes, you could have put some socks on, do what you need to do. You could put your legs up on top of a chair, or sit up in a chair if you prefer. So I'm going to give you just a minute to settle in, and then we'll begin our body scan practice. So make sure you have everything that you need. You need to be comfortable, warm, not too warm. If you're too warm, then you will definitely drop off to sleep. So settling in to a comfortable position for you, however that looks. Make any physical adjustments that are necessary so that you are completely at your ease. So the meditation begins with the strike of the singing bowl and will end with the same. So beginning by paying attention to what you can feel underneath your body. So it might be your mattress if you're laying on your bed. It might be your mat. It might be a blanket. You may have placed bolsters or cushions behind your knees or thighs. You might have a pillow underneath your head. And maybe the arms are off the mat and they're resting on the coolness of the floor or a different material such as carpet. So just taking a minute to notice the various textures, the firmness or softness of what's beneath you. Have a sense of what's on your body, your clothing. Is it tight? Is it loose, soft, or rough? Maybe some of your clothing is tight, some of it's loose. Maybe your hands and feet and face are exposed and are cooler than the rest of your body. Just noticing also the space around you. Does it feel spacious? Do you have a sense of things being nearby? And have a little scan of your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Are you holding tension? Are you at ease? Maybe some parts are intense and tight, other parts are soft and at ease. Notice how your body's placed. Are your arms away from you, palms up? Are your fingers curled in or stretched out? Maybe your hands are resting on your belly. What about your feet? Are they rolled out, rolled in, straight up? Does one feel more rolled out than the other? And travel up the legs and notice the same. What about the tops of your thighs? Are they rolled in, rolled out, one more than other? And your buttocks, are they tense and tight? Are they soft and relaxed? And they're following the undulation of the spine. Where in the spine is there more connection to the floor than in other places? So being equally aware of the gaps and the spine, so behind the neck, lower back, and the places where your spine is more firmly in contact, your tailbone, across your shoulder blades. So we're going to begin a little walk around our body. We're going to visit the land of the body, one place at a time. And I invite you to let your awareness move from one place to the other, letting go of each place as we move to the next. Being aware of sensation and temperature, tension and softness. Being aware of the position that part of your body is resting in. If your mind wanders, just gently come back to paying attention to looking in on your body as we take a walk around its landscape. So we're going to begin with the right thumb. The first finger, the second finger, the third finger, and the fourth finger. All of the fingers and thumb together. The palm of your right hand, the back of your right hand, your knuckles, the whole of your right hand and wrist, inner forearm, outer forearm, inner elbow, outer elbow, the upper arm, armpit, the right shoulder, the whole of the right arm, shoulder, and hand. The right side of your rib cage, the right side of your hip and buttock, the right thigh and back of thigh, the right knee and back of knee, the right shin and calf. The right ankle and heel. The sole of your right foot. The arch of your right foot. The top of your right foot. Your big toe. First toe. Second toe. Third toe. And fourth toe. All of the toes together. The whole of the right foot and ankle. The whole of the right leg, foot, hip, and buttock. The whole of the right side of your body. Let your awareness rest with your left thumb. First finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Palm of hand, back of hand, knuckles. The whole of your left foot, left hand and wrist. Inner left forearm, outer left forearm. Inner elbow, outer elbow. Upper arm, shoulder, shoulder blade. The whole of your left arm. Left collarbone, rib cage. Left hip and buttock. Left thigh and back of thigh. Left knee and back of knee. Left shin and calf. Left ankle and heel. Left sole of foot, arch of foot. Left big toe, first toe, second toe, third toe, and fourth toe. The whole of the left foot and all of the toes. The whole of the left leg, foot and toes. The whole of your left body. Feeling the whole of the left side of the body. Left side of the body. Feeling the belly gently rising and falling. the rib cage, the chest, whole of your upper body. The whole of the front of the body, from the tips of your toes, the tips of your fingers, your shoulders, and your clavicles. Letting your awareness move to the length of your spine. To the muscles of your back. To the whole back of the body. The neck, jaw, chin, bottom lip, the space just below the bottom lip, the top lip, the space above your top lip, your tongue, the roof of your mouth, the top row of teeth, bottom row of teeth, the spaces between teeth, the space underneath the nostrils, the right inner nostril, the left inner nostril, the bridge of your nose, right cheek, left cheek, right inner ear, earlobe, the bones of the outside of the ear, left inner ear, earlobe, the bones on the outside of the ear. Right eyeball, eyelid, eyelashes. Left eyeball, eyelid, eyelashes. Right eyebrow, left eyebrow, forehead. The the whole of your face. The scalp. Any hair on the scalp. The whole of your body, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Letting your awareness settle inside the body to the sense of the organs in your body. The sense of the spaces between your organs, space within the body. To the sense and feeling of the breath traveling through the nose and the body, breathing in, the breath held in the body, the breath going out, the breath leaving the body. Just rest the awareness on the intransient nature of the coming and going of breath. Perhaps having an awareness of the whole body breathing. Having an awareness of the thoughts coming and going, rising and falling, like the waves in the ocean, crashing against the shore. Not being caught up with any thoughts, any breath, or any sensation, just noticing it as it arises. Being aware of the sounds entering your awareness. Feeling your breath, your sensation, sound, thoughts, space all around you. Not clinging to anything, trying to make anything happen. Just noticing the experience your physical body is having in this moment. Continue resting for a little longer in this posture of rest, letting your body be supported in such a beautiful and nurturing way. Let your mind gently relax to hear the reading for this body scan. The reading comes from Wherever You Go, There You Are by Jon Kabat-Zinn. When we are in touch with being whole, we feel at one with everything. When we feel at one with everything, we feel whole ourselves. Sitting still or lying still, in any moment we can reconnect with our body, transcend the body, merge with the breath, with the universe, experience ourselves as whole and folded into larger and larger wholes. A taste of interconnectedness brings deep knowledge of belonging, a sense of being an intimate part of things, a sense of being at home wherever we are. We may taste and wonder at an ancient timelessness beyond birth and death, and simultaneously experience the fleeting brevity of this life as we pass through it, the impermanence of our ties to our body, to this moment, to each other. Knowing our wholeness directly in the meditation practice, we may find ourselves coming to terms with things as they are, a deepening of understanding and compassion, a lessening of anguish and despair. Wholeness is the root of everything that the words health, healing, and holy signify in our language and our culture. When we perceive our intrinsic wholeness, there is truly no place to go and nothing to do. Thus, we are free to choose a path for ourselves. Stillness becomes available in doing and in non-doing, when we find it lying within ourselves at all times. And as we touch it, taste it, listen to it, the body cannot but touch it, taste it, listen as well, and in so doing, let go. And the mind too comes to listen and knows at least a moment of peace. Open and receptive, we find balance and harmony right here. All space folded into this place. All moments folded into this moment. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. From the Tao Te Ching. Peace comes within the souls of men when they realize their oneness with the universe. Siddhartha listened. He was now listening intensely, completely absorbed, quite empty, taking in everything. He felt that he had now completely learned the art of listening. He had often heard all this before, all these numerous voices in the river, but today they sounded different. He could no longer distinguish the different voices, the merry voice from the weeping voice, the childish voice from the manly voice. They all belonged to each other. The lament of those who yearn, the laughter of the wise, the cry of indignation and the groan of the dying. They were all interwoven and interlocked, entwined in 1,000 ways, and all the voices, all the goals, all the pleasures, all the good and evil, all of them together was the world. All of them together was the stream of events, the music of life. When Siddhartha listened intensively to this river, to this song of 1,000 voices, when he did not listen to the sorrow or the laughter, when he did not bind his soul to any one particular voice and absorb it into his self, but heard them all, the whole, the unity, then the great song of 1,000 voices consisted of one word. What is needed is to learn afresh, to observe and to discover ourselves, the meaning of wholeness. Allow yourself to rest for just a moment. Be in stillness as you reflect on the reading, noticing how you feel, what you sense, what is present for you after this practice. In your own way, begin to bring some subtle movement to the body. So moving your fingers and toes, maybe having a yawn and a stretch, perhaps bending your legs, curling them into your chest. Have a little rock side to side. Take a minute or two to fidget around and feel life come back into the arms and legs. Blink the eyes open, stretch and breathe, and don't rush. Take your time to come to one side and then to sit and end your practice. Perhaps taking a few moments now to inquire into what the body scan practice was like for you. Did your mind drift? Did you slumber? Did you rest? Did you fall into a deep sleep? Were you present? Was there judgment around the body? Perhaps it was uncomfortable to be in certain parts of your body. Perhaps you felt disconnected and unable to connect. Perhaps it was blissful. What did you learn? What did you discover? Take a few moments to inquire. So taking a minute to consider how every moment is a doorway to come home to ourselves by practicing mindful awareness, a conversation, a bird flying past, a flower opening up to the sunshine, the rain falling, an argument, a strain of music, a sadness, a joy, a fear, trepidation, food, sleep, Every single thing you experience, when we turn our mindful gaze upon it, gives us the opportunity to put down our sticks, to let go of the desire for things to be one way or the other way. The Buddha says we only suffer when there is desire. So if we let go of the need for things to look the way we would like them to look so that we feel more comfortable, and we allow things to be as they are, whether that be our own things or other people's things, our inner experience is one of wisdom, peace, happiness, contentment, compassion, forgiveness. And the more mindful we become, the more we hone these qualities. And we notice sooner when perhaps we're getting into a place of holding on to the sticks, holding on to our suffering, being desirous of the world to fit our agenda. And it's worth saying that this doesn't mean that you can't change things that need to be changed, but it's about the inner view that you have about that. About the you caused me a problem because, or if only it were. The fact is, it is, and how are we going to receive that isness? So take a moment now just to reflect on how every moment in your life, every breath, every interaction gives you the potentiality to awaken to your true self, your home, your soul, your deeper I. And if that feels like something so far away, acknowledging that that's where you are right now. And there's nowhere to go other than this moment. So being happy with where you are right now. We're going to rest the hands on the heart to end our practice together. Sinking into a place of nurturing ourselves. Darling, I love you. I care for you and I tend to you. Extending that awareness to those you love. Darlings, I love you, I care for you, and I tend for you. And if you feel able to, extending those wings of compassion to the whole world. Darlings, I love you, care for you, and nurture you. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. So the sound of the singing bowl ends our time together today. I'm very grateful for your company and for the opportunity to practice deeply for a period of time. I'm very aware it can be incredibly challenging to hold your attention. So please be super kind to yourself if you felt that it was harder than you thought it might be. And I hope that you have taken some wisdom with you. Maybe it's just a small thing. Maybe the practice of rain will be useful to you going forwards or something else. And I send you all my deep, heartfelt love and compassion in these very, very challenging times that we're all living in. Thank you, guys. I'm going to just end the recording.